Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends at yarnspirations.com. Do you have this yarn in stock? It's currently discontinued, Caron Colorama. And what this was a chunky weight yarn. It was bulky 5. And I decided that I had a few balls left, and I thought this might be a great charity project to be able to build. All the colors that you see in one hat are out of one of these. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to separate the colors out, and we're going to begin that journey next. Once the ball package is off, just pull it apart like this, and just carefully just cut it and just pull out the piece that is holding that round circle together. So I want to go through this, and you can see the color separations are here. So I'm going to just use my fingers and kind of peel it backward, and we're going to make 5 piles. There's 5 different colors, but we're only going to be using 4 of the colors here. So right where it changes out, just trim your yarn and put those aside. So do that with all of the ball. Once they're all separated out, have the open hole face towards you when it's not here off camera. And so the point, just leave that away so that you could just pull out the center here. So you're gonna have 5 colors. You have to determine the color order that you would like to do. Because you have the same amount for each one of the colors, you can decide which one is gonna go first. So I would recommend that if you're doing this, that you're gonna want the highlight color to kind of really be outstanding. So just because I did it with this colorway doesn't mean you have to. And so you have 1 color, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 color will not be used at all. So that's something that you have to decide. Even the other one was the same way. And this is called Concord for this color if you want to use that one. So we're going to begin. Use a 6mm size J crochet hook in order to play. Whichever color you decide is going to work for you, use 2 fingers. This is the end of the ball here. And just wrap it around your 2 fingers and cross over the back, and use your ring finger to hold that into position. This is called the magic ring, an adjustable circle. We have other tutorials available on the channel for this. So just lay 2 fingers in front, okay, coming down, wrap, and cross over. Use your 6mm size J crochet hook and slide under the first one right here, and grab this one, and just kind of rotate your hand around. So just rotate and slide your fingers out, and you're going to have your circle plus this strand that's leading to the end of the ball. You want to keep that, and when you crochet, you're going to crochet up over top of those. Let's secure that in position by just chaining 1, and we're going to begin round number 1. We're going to begin round number 1, and we're going to just chain 1 and put 11 double crochets into the ring, and we'll count those out together. So make sure you're going up over top of the 2 strands. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So the beginning chain ones that we did is not counting as a stitch. So there should be a total of 11 double crochets, and just pull a loop and use the strand here and just really pull on it. And you're pulling into the center. Turn it to the back side and keep on pulling. Okay. So I determined that you really can't do a chain 1 or like a chain 4 and be able to hide in the ends on this. It's just not possible. So it'll leave an open hole. So I'm going to use a tapestry needle. You need to do this in order to get this to not fall out. So we can see that it's coming from out here. So we want to continue the path and just go in this side. Do not let the needle go to the good side of the work. And you're going to pull through. And the first pull through is the most critical. So give it a good tug. I want that center to be as tight as possible. I'm using my thumb and really pushing it so it doesn't open back up, so I can push it through a second time going in the opposite direction. And then one more time. I'd recommend that you split the plies, just don't go between strands, and therefore it'll really get stuck. Okay, and you can safely just cut that down. It's going to be in the inside of the hat anyway. So let's continue then to round number 2, but before we do, let's put this back on, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. We have a chain here that's not counted, so if you're not sure, count it backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 11 is it. Okay, so there you go. Let's move on to round number 2. As I'm moving along, make sure that when you finish a round, you pull tight. Like, just don't let it sit, just give it a good snug pull. Chain 1 will not count as anything, and just put 2 double crochet in each of the 11 stitches all the way around. Okay, so just put 2 into each, and I'll see you at the end of round number 2 in a moment. At the end of number 2, slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet, ignore the chain 1. And remember what I said, give it a good snug pull, and then pull through with intention of keeping it tight. Just like that, and that was round number 2. Let's begin round number 3. Round number 3, chain 1, put 2 double crochet into the very first one, that's the one with the join, and then the next one is going to be 1 double crochet by itself, and you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so there's going to be 2 into the next one and 1 into the one after that. Please do that all the way around for round number 3. At the end of number 3, there's just 1 into the last one. That's just a matter of keeping the count, so it's 2 and then 1, and slip stitch tightly to the top of the first double crochet that you started with. And let's move on to round number 4. Round number 4, chain 1 does not count as anything. Put 2 double crochet into the first one, and now the next 2 are going to be 1 by itself, so 1 double crochet in each. So the repeat then for round number 4 is there's going to be 2 into the next one, and then the next 2 are by itself. Please do that all the way around for round number 4. Finishing up number 4, slip stitch, pull tight, 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 and there. So I don't want any ugly gaps in between, that's why I'm pulling tight. Let's move on to round number 5. Round number 5, chain 1, and simply just do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and that's as simple as it gets, and I'll see you at the end of the round. End of number 5, you know what to do. Slip stitch, pull tight, and let's move on to round number 6. So we have 2 more rounds with this color because I believe that you're going to run out after that, so we're only going to do 2 rounds more. So we're going to begin in chain 1 and put 2 double crochet in the first one because we need to get a little bit bigger, and then the next 3 are by itself. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 2 into the next, and then 3 by itself. Please do this around for number 6. Okay, finish number 6, just slip stitch tightly, and then let's move on to number 7. Okay, last round with this color, just chain up 1 and apply 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Please do this, and I'll see you at the end of the round. At the end of number 7 here, we're just going to slip stitch to the first one. So this is going to be it for this color. So I want to trim this color. What's left of it, you can probably throw the rest of it out. There's not a lot left. Just pull tight, and I always turn it to the back side, so the inside of the hat. We're going to grab that same tapestry needle, and we're going to hide in our loose ends. So anytime there's loose ends to deal with, I would try to deal with it most times as I'm going. Once it's on the needle, just stay to the back side of the work. So don't let that needle hit to the good side so you don't ruin the look, and just pull it on through. And when you pull the first time, make sure you don't change the shape of your hat. So it's got to be taut. So again, like I said before, just go through the plies as well as going through the strands as well. So if you go through plies, it just is almost impossible to get out. If anybody that knows that firsthand, you can let me know what you think in the comments about that. So this is the only time I'm going to show you how to weave in the ends when you're changing color. So I will, when I say change color, you can do so, or you can do it at the end of the project. You decide what works for you. So you can leave me a comment. Do you wait to the end to weave in, or do you do it as you go? So let's turn our work back to the right side of the work, and let's begin a new color. And you decide, and let's take a look at the sample again. So the next color you decide is only going to appear for 2 rounds, and then it will be red at the very end, so you have to decide. So even on the other hat, it was the same thing. So 2 colors, or 2 rounds of the same color, and then 1 at the end. So just look at your what you have, and let's just make that decision and move on forward. Round number 8. So now that the colors changed, I want to do something slightly different at the very beginning of this. So remember that the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So make sure you're only going into the top of the first. So just have it already on the hook and just yarn over, pull through, and chain 1. So you're just going to double crochet around, but there's something right here that you want to do first. So you're going to double crochet the first one. And because this is an odd number, which will not work later, I want you to put the next 2 together as a 2 together double crochet. So wrap the hook and into the stitch, pull through 2 and hold, and do the next one the same way. So wrap and in, pull through 2 and hold, and then pull through all 3. So 2 stitches just became 1, and so this will get you back to an even number, which is what you're looking for. I want you to double crochet the remaining of your round, and this is round number 8. So I'm coming all the way around. Usually when you add a new color in somewhere, it creates this really ugly gap, and I'm just going to do the last one, and you can see it here. It'll be right here. So what you can do in the very last one is that you can do, and I do this when you're not watching me, so I'm going to do a 2 together using the last stitch plus this space stitch right here. This is the slip stitch. So just going in, pull through 2, and then just going right into the space, pull through 2, and hold and push it through. And so it's still just 1 stitch at the end, but because I did that, it will hide in that space, and then you're just going to slip stitch it to the top of the first stitch. And do you see how more solid that looks? It's great. So let's move on to round number 9, and let's begin. Number 9 is just chain 1 and apply 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and do that, and I'll be back at the end of the round. At the end of number 9, you're just going to come to your last one. If you want to do that little trick about putting the 2 together to make it more full looking, you can decide to do that on your own. So this is it pulled tightly. This is it for this color. So we're going to use this color on the very last round, but for now, let's get rid of it and secure it in with your tapestry needle, and let's begin round number 10 next. So now you have to decide, what is this color going to be? It's going to be standing out of the work, and so I'm going to go with a bright color this time and make that really pop. Okay, round number 10. We're looking at the good side of the work, the right side, but we need to flip it around and crochet it so that the front of this is towards you and you're coming around the back side. Let's create a slip knot. And we're going to go into your very first stitch. So just with it already onto the hook, it's just easier. And pull yarn through and through and chain 1. Okay, so this is the orientation. And you're going to double crochet into the first. Now pull this loose end towards the inside of the hat and just leave it there. And now the next stitch is just a slip stitch, and that's going to be your repeat all the way around. So the next one is going to be a double crochet, and then the next one is a slip stitch. And because you did the 2 together a few rounds back, there's an even number of stitches, which makes this work. So double crochet and then slip stitch, and do this around for round number 10. And coming back around, the last stitch should be a slip stitch, okay, because it's an even number. And I want you now to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. My tip for you is that cut the yarn, weave in your ends. I found myself confused when I didn't do it that way. So just pull through, weave in your ends with that, and we'll move on to round number 11 in a moment. So now that I have my ends woven in, I'm going to go to the right side of the project, so the side that people would see if they were looking at you. And then you're going to grab a secondary color. So we are using this color for the jump out, and then I'm going to use another color then for what's in between. Okay, so I'm going to use this color because I haven't used it yet. So let's just create this one here. So this round is so simple, it's crazy. And you're going to join it to the top of the first double crochet. Chain one, it won't count as anything, and then double crochet in. So just careful here. The next one is a slip stitch. It's right here. See how it's really low? So then you were just going to continue to double crochet around. So whether you're on the top of a double crochet here or you're in a slip stitch, that's all you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to toss that loose end to the other side and continue to double crochet around for round number 11. At the end of this round, we are just going to finish it off. The last stitch is a slip stitch that's going in, like you're going into a slip stitch, and just secure it to the first double crochet. I want you to get rid of this yarn, weave in the ends, and I'll move on to round number 12 next. Round number 12 is this jump out round again, and so you're going to start off with that same color that you're going to jump out on. And you're just going to start with the top. So I'm looking at the inside of the work, so the wrong side again. So because it pops out on the opposite side, so therefore you want it to pop out on the good side of the work. Okay, so we're just going to going in, attach, chain one, and then double crochet into that same one. And then jumping to the next one here, slip stitch. Okay, make sure the yarns come to the inside before you do a slip stitch, because the slip stitch does not hold that in. So just alternate between the two again, so double crochet and slip, and do that all the way around for round number 12. The last stitch on round number 12 is just a slip stitch, and that's just a matter of keeping in the sync of the pattern. Now you're just going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. You're going to get rid of this yarn again, weave in the ends, and we'll move on to round number 13 next. Round number 13, we turn to the good side of the work, and we want to use the same color as we just did over here, and we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did before. Just get your yarn out, put it onto the hook, and so you're going to start off in the first double crochet, attach it, chain one, and double crochet in. And I can tell that's a double crochet because it's taller than the other stitch. And then the first stitch is right here. It's the slip stitch, and that's a double crochet in there. So then just continue to double crochet in each double crochet and slip stitch around for round number 13. Coming to the end of number 13, the slip stitch is the last one that it's going into. Okay, and then you're just going to come to the top. You're going to get rid of this color again, weave in your ends, and we're going to do one more round of the houndstooth stitch again, and I'll be back in a second for round number 14. Okay, round number 14, turn to the wrong side again, the inside of the hat, so you're looking at it, and grab the same color of the pop outs. And then you are going to just join it to the top of the first one. Okay, chain one, double crochet in, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Pull this yarn forward so it's out of your way on the inside of the hat, and just continue to double crochet and slip stitch around just like how you know before. Please do this around for round number 14. Okay, at the end of number 14, the last stitch is a slip stitch, join it to the first double crochet. So let's get rid of this color. This is the final time you've used it, and we're going to go back to the other color that we started before we got to the brim area. It's this color, and weave in your ends, and meet me back here in a second. So let's turn our work to the good side of the work and do the last round using this same color right here, and that helps it frame it beautifully. And it's just a single crochet round. So just start it up on there. Start in the top of the first double crochet, so just come on in, and you can do an invisible join if you want to, or an invisible, sorry, what's this called? You can do a standing single crochet, so you can just put it onto the hook and pull through. And if you don't pull through everything and just leave the other loop on there, you can just pull through the two. Okay, that's a standing single crochet. So then your first stitch then is the next slip stitch, and then the double crochet, and etc. And it's just a single crochet round, and I'll see you at the end of this round to conclude today's tutorial. So I'm coming all the way back to the end, and the slip stitch where I'm going into now is the last one. You're just going to slip stitch to the beginning, and then you're just going to weave in your ends, and then you're good to go, and you got a new hat for your collection or your charity box. So here's the finished hat we did on camera. This was a different Ogo, but it was the same color way, and you can see that it changes the look, and so you can see that. And then the final one here with the Concord color. So these two were Wine Time, and this is Concord, and you can see just by changing the color, it makes it a lot more interesting, at least visually for me. We hope you have a good day and a great way to build a charity box for sure, and that's exactly where these guys are going to go. Got to help my community, right? See ya.